I paint from imagination. Why I paint from imagination? Because I have a lot of freedom when I paint from imagination. Even when you work from plein air or photographs, what are the subjects are there? Just there are trees, mountains, land, sky, water. These are the elements or human figure. These are the elements we see in the nature. So instead of working from life, instead of working from photographs, I love to work from imagination because I observe those things in nature whenever I go outside. So those things I will compose on my canvas when I paint. See here, first I painted light, sunlight or sun. Of course, you are not seeing the sun. You are seeing the light of the sun. I paint with large knives because when I paint with brush, I won't find that kind of freedom when I use knife as a brush. See how I am using the knife there. Just I am cutting, I am scraping, I am moving the way I want. Interesting shapes are emerging. See, look at the painting. Now we see that sunlight, the origin, the silhouette trees. So pictures start to emerge step by step. I don't like to paint throughout canvas, whole canvas. I don't like to fill the canvas with all the subjects because we use it to see the subject in three levels or three views. The first one is focal point area. There where the light, strongest light we are seeing, that is the focal point area. There we see the detail. Next, when it comes to little bit away from that, that is secondary area, we won't see much detail the way we see it in focal point area. When you go more distance from the focal point, when you go away from the focal point area, I mean near edges to the canvas, we won't see any detail. I won't paint any detail. To me, it is peripheral area. In peripheral area, we won't see any detail. Just we feel that image only, but we won't see the detail. If you work the detail in the peripheral area, it appears unrealistic, artificial, because we won't see detail everywhere at one glance. We will see first one area in detail, second or next nearest area for that we miss less detail, we will see it in less detail. When you go away from the focal point area, we won't see any detail, just the scene will be in front of us with almost no detail. Here you see, I put the reflection of the sunlight on the ground. And I put some violets, some yellows nearest to that white. Because when yellow is nearest to the sunlight, when you put violets beside of it, that will create complementary contrast. Complementary contrast means yellow and violets both are complementary colors to each other. When you put violet beside yellow, it is a complementary. So we feel that the color melody, and at the same time we feel that light effect also, because that complementary contrast will do that magic. See, the painting is nothing but magic. Now I put the knife nearest to the light, on the horizon, nearest to the sun. See how the knife is playing there. Lot of interesting shapes you are seeing, lot of textures are appearing. It's a magic, simply a magic. See, I came to the foreground. I am putting some colors. They are the red violets and dark yellows, because they are a little bit away from the light. So yellow become dark, violet become dark, and using the knife like a blade, it is creating interesting textures on the ground. See, already we are feeling that sunlight light area with a lot of detail. We are feeling that distance, we are feeling that light reflection on those area. But the thing is, I didn't work much. I worked very little. I worked with broad shapes, but the detail emerged. See again I put the violets beside yellow. See those distant trees which are on the slopes. You can feel lot of details in those areas. You are not able to define exactly what are those details, but you feel the detail. The ambiguity is there. The artist's job is create ambiguity in painting in some areas. In some areas, clarity, detail. In some areas, just ignore it, which are peripheral areas. Then the viewer feel the magic in painting. If you work everywhere detail, what is there for him to see, to feel that magic? Give him an opportunity to think, to search. What is there? What artist created there? What kind of trees are there? What kind of slopes are there? What kind of bushes are there? How the water is flowing? How the color is reflecting from the ground? The sunlight is falling on the ground. So the color reflecting from the ground is responding to the sky, sunlight. See the movement of the brush. I am putting greens beside red violets, dark greens. Here and there I am working little bit detail, not much. See the yellows I put little bit yellows, not many yellows. The sky area is dominated by yellows and oranges, but see the fun. The ground area dominated by violets. See, that is the secret of a successful painting. Don't give an equal ratio of colors on canvas. Play with uneven proportions. Either color. Suppose this one is painted with yellows and violets. So make yellows less, make violets more, or make violets less, yellows more. Here I painted the sky with more yellows, yellow dominated hues. That's why totally I painted nearly 70% of area I painted with violets, dominated by violet hues. But on the ground you see the yellows, a bits and pieces of yellows, a streak of yellows. If you won't repeat those sky colors on the ground, note this point, just listen carefully. If you won't repeat those yellows of the sky on the ground, you won't get color harmony. To achieve color harmony, repetition is the key. So whenever I paint, I use repetition very carefully, very calculated way also. At the same time, it's carefree, it's calculated. I don't need to be calculated totally, then it will be plastic feeling. So if you totally carefree, there is a problem again. It will miss that restricted proportions. So you play at a time both free and restricted applications. See what I am doing is I put some yellow oranges on the trees and I am merging with background. See, I usually use big 500 ml acrylic bottles. I put my knife in those bottles, I take the color, I mix them on the canvas. In that process, I won't use much white in my painting. The reason is if we put more white, if we mix more white, we will lose the color intensity. Color become a little bit chalky. If you mix more white, it becomes chalky. It will lose its brightness. If you mix white, color will become light, but it won't be bright. It's the secret of bright and light. If you want your color bright and intensive, just don't use white much. Then color will maintain its chroma. So your color will be alive on canvas. See how I applied greens here and there. That more or less they are sharp greens. That means they are having yellow in there. So I used yellow is the dominating color in the painting. Putting here and there the sharp greens will help to achieve color harmony. At the same time, that broken color effects with that greens. See here the foreground, that green patch. Later, after that also light greens. And where now I am working, there that greens. All these things will give you colorful color feeling. The painting appears at the end colorful. See how I worked near the edges of the canvas. more or less no detail in those areas. I didn't work any detail, just merging the color with the background, not much detail. So that way the viewer feel the painting realistic. And there is some wrong notion about the realistic painting. Many people think realistic painting means they have to work like a photograph, then it is realistic. It's a wrong notion. Realistic painting means how when you see there I'm achieving here in color balance. I put the color here, that violets and that yellow oranges this side. Same thing there also I am putting on that side also. See that yellow oranges added with little bit white. That little bit sticks of white interact with that water, the white of the water. On this side I put some that violets, light violets and slight white mixed yellow strokes. All they will get color harmony and they have a pattern. That repetition helps, brings unity. See in that area, I don't need to work much, but I have to create some little bit detail. Otherwise, it appears flat. To avoid that flat feeling, see what I am doing. I am putting little bit values to avoid that flatness. And I am thinking what I have to do with this painting. Next, what I have to work. That is the way I approach the painting. Always observe it, what I am going to work next. See, that yellow orange, I am going to use there because that will unify the right side of the painting. That left side of that little bit yellow orange, that light streaks of that color, it will connect to the right side of the painting. So one side you put the color, if you don't repeat the same color other side, it will lose its unity, it will lose its harmony, it will lose its balance. The painting going to be not appealing. See that little bit orange, it do wonders. Observe what I am going to do there. I put the values to avoid that flatness, to create some ups and downs of the ground. I am merging, just giving a feeling of some bushes there. I am checking the balance, this side and that side and that side. I will check the painting, all corners of the painting. See, I put little bit green there, I place little bit green there to connect with the background, to connect with the middle ground, to connect with the distant ground. Everything has to be connected with everything in the painting, otherwise there won't be unity. The unity is very important. See, that orange, I place it there. That to do wonders. That orange bit will connect whole painting with that side. Now you observe, is achieved balance there. Imagine, if I won't put the orange there, what would happen? You won't get that balance. Look at that. You won't feel that unified effect of the whole canvas. That orange, small orange, brings total painting into one unit. It's as a whole, it's appearing it's as a whole. Ultimately, achieving the effect of whole is the artist's final goal. He will try for it, he will struggle for it. He will break his head to achieve that whole effect or unified effect. See that, again I am telling that small orange in the foreground, how wonderful it is. See these things, that white. Is it not interesting that white strokes? They are connecting to the water, they are connecting light of the sun, they are connecting the other side of the area, highlights. See, that light connect with this, what I have placed here. That light, that orange light streak, it will connect with that foreground orange, and it connect with this light orange what just I placed. It's all you have to roam your total canvas continuously. Now I need to emphasize that light. See, just I took the big strokes, big large, I took the knife and I put a lot of color without much worrying that maybe is going to spoil. I didn't bother about it. And if it is spoiled, just I will work again. What's there to care? It's my work, my canvas. I am creating it. That's what I am laughing. It's a fun actually, putting that level of strokes. I will get enjoyment. I will get fun. It shows my command on painting. And again, I am bringing that yellows and oranges on that horizon area, on that slopes, to get color repetition and harmony. Because the sky color reflects mostly on the horizon, majorly on the horizon. So you have to put that color on the horizon. If you won't put color on that horizon, you won't get that unified effect again. The horizon, the sky, everything is separate. It's important to achieve the unity. Now see, I'm merging, slightly merging, but I didn't care. I didn't painting it very carefully. Just I'm moving with aggressiveness. I'm moving with total freedom. Now you look at the finished painting now. Lot of ambiguity, lot of textures, lot of majorly dominated by yellow and violets and added with pinks and greens. See how it appears.